It's like organizing a Star Citizen event by not playing Star Citizen.
It's right. It's right. 3 hours later, we'll have 20 minutes of content.
That's right.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Fortnightly Frontier. I'm Mythematic, and this is... Who am I pointing to? This is Meyer, and that one's Darge.
And today, we're going to be talking about role-playing and RP in Star Citizen. I said and RP, but yeah.
Use take two. Hi everyone, welcome to the Fortnightly Frontier. I'm Mythematic. That's still Meyer, and this over there is Star Janitor. We're doing some pretty cool stuff here, and watch us. Use take one.
Take one, definitely take one. Yeah.
I think take one. It was felt more natural.
Yeah, this was good, but yeah, take one had a better mouthfeel to it. Yeah,
better mouthfeel. Take one.
Yeah, I'm getting hints of vanilla.
Yeah,
I'm getting hints of coffee.
Yeah. I don't like coffee though, but it
I
works
know.
in this sense though. Why?
is your camera getting blurry?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Interesting.
I don't think it could handle this much dorkitude.
That's probably it.
It's wow. I'm uploading at 75 kilobits per second.
It looks like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna hang up
I'll say.
and I'm gonna refresh.
So, Myth, how are you?
I'm doing great. This is wonderful. How are you? How was your weekend? Oh, and now it's just us.
Yeah. So yeah, my weekend was good. Is this everything and all you thought it would be?
Okay, good. The end of the week and all?
Yeah, no, but is this podcast and how it is right now everything and all you thought it would be?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm crisp.
That means a lot, Myth. All right.
Well, you invited me on, so I knew it was not going to be any orderly.
That is
It's been chaos the entire time.
that is fair. That is 100% fair. But yeah, so
You lost it when you said you're doing the intro, and I went, okay. Here we go.
Yeah, but it's all going to end. Also, I have to apologize. I only announced that we're going to have one special guest on the show tonight, but we have two because that mustache. I mean, I can't stop looking at it. How do you do it?
Oh boy, I get this question asked a lot. So what I did when I was young, around 11, I had milk, heavy cream, and you drink as much as you can, and you leave it on your lip, and then you have a cat lick it off, and that's usually how you get such a glorious mustache. And then that activates the roots of the mustache and the hair follicles, and
cat kissing.
an old trick.
Is it the bristles of the cat tongue or is that something? Anyway,
it's not cat kissing, Meyer. It is an old tradition done in old times, the 1800s, and
the oldest of times, yes.
yeah. Is there another question?
Do you have to do you have to do it as a child, or can I do it now?
Yep. No, you
I have
can't
to
do it now. It's weird if you do it now.
Yeah,
Yeah, because then you'd be a grown man kissing a cat.
exactly.
I mean, a lot of grown people are kiss cats, but I mean, it's not something I would publish. It's
a cat licking a grown man's mouth.
Yeah.
That's
yeah, that would make it weird.
that's weird.
Anyway, Myth, thank you so much
But
for
if you're a
joining
kid,
us,
you can get away
man.
with
Like,
Hi.
yeah, it's cool to have you. So, like, so Myth, for people who don't know who you are, who are you?
Hey everyone, it's me, Myth. I do, or Mythematic or Cord, I do voice acting and role playing here on the Twitcher space or on the YouTube verse, or also just on the internet in general. I do a cinematic experience over on my channel, and I like to role play in everything I play. And that's it. That's kind of it. I try to make a bunch of different characters, and I try to tell a bunch of different stories. That's me.
Hi. So, what is role playing? You want to explain to people? Because, like, to me, when I first started gaming, like,
Start taking notes.
when I started playing like World of Warcraft and stuff, right? Like, yeah, like I would see there's a PvP server, a PvE server, and then an RP server, and I never really like got into it or understood it. And I don't think many people do. They kind of just saw it as the other option. Can you explain to people exactly what what role play is, because
Yeah. Yeah, so role playing, in the boiled down version of it itself, is you are pretending that you are in character. So you take on a character's persona and you try to immerse yourself in the world using that character's persona. So when you are in a role play server on like World of Warcraft, there are add-ons and things to like type up your backstory and have things like that. You go into a game with a character fueling your intentions rather than just you wanting to min-max your character and things like that. So when it comes to role playing is just acting. It's just like another term for acting. A lot of people say these days, "Ooh, my role play," or "Ooh, this really affects the role play." And what they mean is this affects my character or this affects the scene. But role play is just a general gaming term for acting in a video game.
Right on.
That's kind of it.
So like, what is like your gaming history with roleplay, or I guess let's go a bit deeper than that. So like before role playing in video games, like have you done anything before that? As in like,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, so when I was 11 or 12, I had a heavy cream. No, I went and I went to I got into acting. I went up on stage for the first time and they told me to monologue something, and I think it was like, sell this or something, or I think they put me in a green cloak and they put me up on stage, or it was like a green bathrobe, and they put me up on stage and just said, go talk about this or go be in a character. And I was like, okay. And I think I was a wizard that invented the toilet or something. That was my that was the monologue I did, and everybody was laughing and it was great. And I was like, oh wow, am I good at this? Is this something I like to do? And it was, and I really enjoyed that camp of just like me being a child, and probably like 9 or 8 or something. And then around 12, I learned Dungeons and Dragons, played 2nd edition for a couple of months, and then 3rd edition came out. And then I became a dungeon master throughout my high school career. And then I went and I did a bunch of plays in high school. And then I went and got my musical theater degree. And then I moved to New York to become an actor. And then I fell into Twitch because I've always been playing video games. And this is just kind of where I've kind of found my little. I've been nestling into the industry of RP and video gaming here.
Cool.
So
like,
yeah, I've got an acting background and I'm a huge nerd. So.
Awesome. So like RP is kind of like an extension of something that like you'd already been cultivating. It's
exactly
right.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the mustache, of course. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Does the heavy cream also help with the role playing, or is it just the mustache?
I want to blame it on the cream, but I don't know if I can. Okay, it's hard to say. This late in the game, it's really hard to say if the cream is still affecting me in talent wise.
So before we go into Star Citizen, and of course, like like RP and what that is and what that could be in a Star Citizen. So like, what games have you played before? Like, what is your like, I guess your RP background in other video games?
Yeah. So I first started watching Twitch and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a lot of fun to play video games and stuff. And then I was in New York auditioning and acting and stuff. And I heard my friends talking about some drama that was happening on some server in Arc. And I was like, what is going on? And they're like, what's this drama thing? And they're like, oh, there's it's like, this is like a show you're watching? And they're like, no, this is Twitch. And I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, it's a roleplay server. And I watched the roleplay server and I was like, oh, this is sick. These are people just like, I can do this. So that was really awesome. I started playing and started getting interest with the game Ark, that dinosaur taming and crafting survival game. And then I opened up my own server for it called MythRP. That was pretty awesome for a while with our own themed seasons or chapters, we called them. And then they would be persistent. So like one story, we had one, the admins of that, including myself, would write a story or like an overall arc for the server for that entire chapter. And then it would go on to chapter 2, and then we would then take, it could be the same characters, new characters, whoever, but then we would see and try to morph it and tell this a long form story that way. And it was super cool, and it was a lot of fun that way. And then I started to get bored of Ark. I mean, I played it for so long, and I started to look for other games. and other things to play in. Conan became a thing. Star Citizen, which we'll probably get into. Obviously, we're going to get into spoilers. I started to. I've always been interested in Star Citizen, but then when VoIP came in, I started to poke around in that, and it started to get exciting. And then anything really now, it's come to the point where if there's VoIP in the game, I will try my best to see if we can role play in it.
Right.
And that's,
So is that how you approach all of this? Like in other games as well, do you have the character and the story that you want to tell all laid ahead in front of you, or do
Right.
you also do like freestyling?
Improv is
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Improv,
yeah,
that's the word I was
yeah.
looking for. Improv.
Well, that's a really great point, because I just realized that we're going to be talking about role playing. It's my favorite thing to talk about. So role playing, in my best advice to anybody who wants to get into role play, is to not write a story. I do say, and someone brought it up to me recently, that saying go out and tell great stories is another way, is like a pseudonym or another way of saying go out and write a story. And that's not true. Don't go and write the story. Go and tell a story, but acting is reacting. It always has been. So if you go out and you create a character and you create a story and you want to put it in your and you want to set up the story that you wrote and throw it in an improv medium, you're not going to see the results that you've expected and you've already prefabricated. It's not going to work. It doesn't work that way. You're just going to get frustrated. You're going to frustrate other players. You're not going to have that collaborative experience of saying yes and on the stage, whichever it may be, whether it's the stage or whether it is the video game. So create
All
your character.
life is a stage.
Exactly. And we're all about characters that walk the boards. Like create a bare bones structure of a character, and then figure it out all on the fly. You could flesh it out as you're going, but you don't need to come up with a character and this entire arc, because that's only going to stress you out and stress other people out as well. For Star Citizen, my character Bear Black, who is a cargo hauler, was very basic when I first started him. I just wanted him to sound like a trucker, and I wanted to have someone to roleplay with, so I created my AI with him, and then that was just it. I named him with chat, or named my AI with chat, and everything else just kind of happened from reacting to the stimuluses and to the things and to the events that have happened either in game or with the people I have interacted with, which is just create a character and get in there and have fun. Don't write something up. So when it comes to improv, don't write it and then throw it into improv.
So it's less like creating like sort of a machinima video for YouTube when you're live on Twitch. It's basically just almost sort of like a D&D campaign with a competent DM, where you have the setting and all you're doing is reacting to all the events that are happening to you in character.
Yeah, it's really more like a LARP. Like video game role playing is like a LARP, and what a LARP is, the live action role play, people taking on their characters and running around in that character for like a weekend or something at an event, or things like that, where from this time to this time we're all going to be in character, whether it is a couple hours at a convention or whether it is over a weekend. But that is what a live action role playing is, and video game role playing is the same thing. You just have a character and you go in and you stage your character, and then you react to the things that are around you as the character, and the story will just evolve that way. So probably like the best way to do it is just be like, hey, it's a LARP.
So in a video game, you're RPing and you come up with a character. And with multiplayer games, of course, like you have other people also with their own characters. So how does that work, like in terms of trying to explain to the audience how RP content is generated, or like, how it's experienced. Like normally in a video game, you have exclamation marks, you have quests and all that stuff, and there is a linear path you take in order to do stuff, and you're playing with other people, but the story being made and the stories being told are just like, oh, we did this quest, right? But with an RP, with when it's like an RP server, or like with the mindset and goal of everybody playing as RPers, how does that work? you start off as, like, let's say, for instance, Bear Black, right, in Star Citizen, and you meet another player. What happens exactly? How do you, like, go from A to B and say that was a good time, essentially?
Yeah. So that is. So when it comes to Star Citizen, or my character in Bear Black, or my character in Star Citizen named Bear Black, um, and other games like I've been playing Mortal Online 2 recently as well, and these are games that aren't necessarily role playing, but it's very easy to role play in them. It's super immersive and super cinematic, and there's also local VoIP. So it's very easy to role play in it. But what's hard is finding people to role play with.
Right.
So in that case, I'm always thinking of my character instead of, like, in Star Citizen, everyone's a captain. Everyone's a captain. Everyone's a bounty hunter. Everyone is the badass that they want to be in space.
Right.
I have created Bear Black to not be a badass. He is the fumbly bumbly, just cargo hauler, because I want to have him be that non-player character, NPC type character to other people. I have tons of money on the character right now, and that is so I can pay people to role play with me. So like the other day, I think I dropped my caterpillar off onto a planet, and then I made $100,000 beacon for someone to transport me to the nearest space station so I could pick up a new ship. Nobody said yes to it. Nobody picked it up because they thought I was a pirate. They're like, no, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna, like, that seems pretty suspicious. But that's the things I'm doing to try to incentivize just an interaction with someone else. And even in Mortal Online 2, I'm also doing the same thing. I'm paying people to interact with me. If people, oh, here's the thing, I'll give them a gold piece, or I'll give them a couple of gold, or gold's pretty expensive in that. So I try my best to I make money in these games so I could then pay the players or the characters that are with me, so we can then I could be that quest giver. I could be that NPC. I have with my character, I have logs of spreadsheets of and breakdowns of if I have 2 crew, 3 crew, 4 crew in my multi-crew caterpillar, and if I have people that come along and act as security or just fly along with me as I'm running cargo from one place to another, I'll give them a cut of it, even if they're just hanging out. So I try to be. So I really, the thing is, if you're watching this and you see a message from Mythematic in game, or a beacon from Mythematic in game for a lot of money, chances are I just want to role play. So just pick it up. But also I may be a pirate that day. So anyway, just pick it up. I usually won't be, but it's very slim. But yeah. So I think I think I'm rambling a bit, but I think when it comes down to how to get from A to B, or how to start, or you have these quests in these games. There are you can just follow the quests, A to B to C to whatever. And the only time there's ever story in those quests is when you're reading the blurbs or you're listening to the dialogue from the NPCs themselves. But why is your character listening to the NPC? Why does this matter to your character? Then after, and that's like, that could just be super nerdy. Why does this matter? Well, I just want to go level up. But I mean, the after you go and you slay 20 boars for the orc at the crossroads, and you give them all of then what? Your character now has that in their history, as they have slain those. So it's like those little things of those events still are a part of the character's history. Trying to create a narrative between events, even if it's just like, hey, we need to go shut down the comma ray near her L1, we can turn that into a story rather than just being like, we should do this so we can do this crime faster. What's the reason for it happening? What's the reason we're doing this in a narrative sense? And that takes a little bit of skill, but it's a very easy skill to learn. Everyone has an imagination. It's just not many people are comfortable with just sinking their teeth into it.
So you'd say that, like, almost any game you can basically make a role play out of, essentially. It doesn't necessarily need all that much in order for you to do it. The tools. So I guess the question I want to ask essentially is like, for you, what would a game need to be a good RPing game?
This is a really great question, Meyer. A
Well,
lot of
thank you.
people.
I thought of
Yes,
myself.
a lot of friends of mine and peers in the streaming space have a lot of different answers for this. And every time I play a new game, I have a lot of streamers or also just viewers in chat come by and go, "Does this game have roleplay potential? How is the potential for RP in this game?" And GTA is really good because it started out as a sandbox, as in you kind of, or not, I shouldn't even say a sandbox. Minecraft is a sandbox.
Right.
It started out as it already started out as a stage that was already been set. There's a set piece here, there's a set piece here. You don't go and earn anything. You just kind of walk around and interact with the people that are around you in this playground that is Los Santos. So it was very minimal, but GTA was really great. Now people have coded it and added things. The same thing with Red Dead. Red Dead is also a really great game for it too. There's a beautiful set piece to just role play on. Star Citizen is really great. It's a beautiful set piece that people can role play on. It just needs for me. It doesn't need VoIP. You can do it in Discord or Guilded or anything that has VoIP. You can utilize. I personally think that it just needs local area VoIP. That's it. I can't think of really anything else. And when it comes to like what mechanics do we need for role play, you don't need to have a building. You don't need to build in a game for it to be a role playing game. You don't need to have a costume setting in your role playing game to have a costume. You don't need to have a specific camera angle to role play in a game. You just need your imagination. That's it. So really, like VoIP is great because it helps you, or like local area VoIP, so you can hear when people are near you and all that kind of stuff, and you can walk away and have a separate scene away from everybody and have a whisper, "I don't know if I trust these people," and you can go back, "Oh, hi everyone," blah blah blah, without having that meta meaning without having the information that you've learned out of character.
Mm-hmm.
If we were role playing on Discord or on Guilded or something where there isn't local area VoIP, and I was like, "Hey George, I don't know if I trust Meyer here." Meyer can go, "Hey, I heard that," and then it's like, "I was talking to Darge here," and then you don't have those questions.
Yeah.
So the local area VoIP is really good for that, and I think that is really the only thing that I am interested in when it comes to, not interested in, the only thing that the bare minimum of what to role play with. Yeah, everything else is just bonuses. I mean, yeah, and I could keep going. So I don't know if you want me to keep going, but I can't.
Well, regarding bonuses, like GTA and WoW all have dedicated RP servers. Like it is expected of you to RP there. But Star Citizen is going the other direction because all the servers are going to be meshed together into one at that point. So do you think that that would be a hindrance to your efforts? Do you think you always have to create these 5-6 figure beacons for people to come and play on your stage? Right. Is that hard to get around, do you think?
That's a great question. I think that
thank you.
It's not hard. It's something that it's the nature of the beast, I feel. It's something that I have prepared for. People who are just blowing me up because they want to blow me up, those are pirates. People who it's that easy. I can those are pirates now. I could lump them into a place that gives it a narrative reason for it happening. Oh, we got pirated today, and just someone blew me up for no reason.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. If you can give it a narrative, then you could still role play around it. So I'm excited because what I like to do is I like to role play with people who don't necessarily know that they're role playing.
Right.
And I like to loop people into my RP without them knowing.
Candid RP.
Yeah. Like it's happened before. I've had people come on board the butterfly, and then I'll just start like, I'll be like, "Hey there,
was just hoping for just getting just stopping on by. What is everything else? Come on board. And people come on board.
And then
How you doing? What's your name?
and then they're like, well, you could see my name, can't you?
No, I can't. What do I call you?
Just call me Darge.
All right, Dodge. Very well.
And it's just like so it's just even like asking them their name sometimes is a very easy way of getting them in and roping them in and asking them questions about their character that they didn't think they had an answer for.
So what is it you do around here?
A little bit of this and that. I do. I guess I do a lot of drug running, and that's a good way to make money.
Oh, okay. So you're a drug runner. All right. Wow. All right. So how do you do that? Have you seen anything good lately?
And just like starting to give conversations, and then getting them into it, and then next thing you know, they're really enjoying their time. They're flying around, especially when you get someone on board who doesn't know they're role playing, and then I turn on my AI, and then their ship is talking to them, which is fun. But
it must be really rewarding for you, you know, like when people actually like you rope them in and they actually start to play along and become actors in their own right. It must be very interesting for them moving forwards to go, is this how all of Star Citizen is? And then like they RP to other people whenever they play. And then
oh god, it's spreading.
Like a viral RP sort of thing situation. Like that'd be really cool to do, you know, like just like start sowing those seeds and like get people, because with Star Citizen, I don't really think it's very it requires all that much to role play, you know, like in like let's imagine we're playing Mortal Online, right? Like if you're an orc, you know, maybe you have to sound like an orc, right? And you know, people have to like make that extra step to become that character.
I could never do that. The poor grammar those guys have, I could never.
I mean, not that kind of orc. But like going from that to Star Citizen, in Star Citizen you're just you in space, and that's all you have to be. And I think that's really cool. You talked about like the bare minimum that you need to be able to like get into RP, right? Like just voice over IP. But Star Citizen is anything but bare minimum, right? So like there are features coming in and all that kind of stuff. Is there anything that you would so before we go into features that are like scheduled or whatever, is there anything you would like to see in Star Citizen to help facilitate roleplay for you or a group?
Oh no. Well, this is great that I don't have an answer.
Okay.
because that means that you know what I think that Star Citizen needs to help with roleplay is more role players.
That is true. Like so that we don't open up, I guess, Pandora's box of I guess ideas and imagination. So there's one thing that a streamer by the name of Classy Pax, I believe, he mentioned before that he wanted to do with Star Citizen, and that's what he's waiting for is like large multi-crew, like let's say an Idris, right? He wants an Idris full of role players, so like all 50 slots or whatever. I suppose, what would you do with an Idris?
I'll be the janitor.
That'd be perfect. What would I do with an Idris?
Yeah, as in like, so Idris RPing, like as I suppose a scenario for role playing. How would you go about like making that an enticing thing, not only just for like, you know, regular role players, but also, you know, players like the person you picked up and, you know, they told you they're a drug runner and that kind of thing. Like
So we're filling out an Idris when we're filling the server up.
Yeah. Well,
so
I mean,
all 50 slots are on the Idris. How does it? How will
we're now in the future, right? So we're now with server meshing, and we're now with like let's say an infinite number of people. Like let's just, you know,
it's 2956.
It is now currently 2956, and Star Citizen is now in pre-beta. You're in an Idris full of role players, right? And you know, exactly. Essentially, like I just wanted to know, like, how would you play that out? Like, you have this scenario. What's your ideal roleplay kind of experience from that?
I don't know. And that's a hard question because I don't know what my role would be.
Right.
So if am I the captain? Am I the janitor? Am I? It's a hard question.
No.
All right, I'm not the janitor. So the oh yikes. So I it's a hard question. I don't
I suppose, like, how would you see it going? You know, like, when everybody's playing a role and everybody is, like, you know, doing something for the long run, like, how would you envision it, like, working? Would just as an extension of Bear Black and just meeting people, but, like, you have a whole crew to do it with this time around, or, like, I don't know.
Okay. I think I understand. So, in an ideal scenario, how would it work if it was okay? So we would. Oh boy, this is hard. I think. Yeah, because I'm got like a bunch of ideas that are like flying at me. All right, so if you were able to join on to someone's ship, let's say I spawned an Idris wherever I could spawn an Idris.
Yeah.
And then you are on my friends list. You could spawn. You could either spawn at Medbay or you could spawn at, I don't know, Stanton, wherever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where.
Right.
And you say Medbay. I have an alert that says on my screen that says, Meyer would like to spawn in your Medbay. And I could click yes or decline. Yes, and then you spawn in the Medbay. That would be cool because then we can get, people can join on you and then also be localized into the ship already.
Right.
So and I don't know if that's a thing that's coming, but that's just an idea. But therefore, you can get your friends all into the Idris instead of having to wait around at the Al-Azhar for everybody to log in, go to the right place, be in the right server, hop into the.
It would do away with a lot of the herding of the cats that's needed in Star Citizen on a
they
daily
can
basis.
They can just hop on in, which could be pretty cool, and people could hop in and hop out. So like, oh, I've got to go. Like, I can't. Because that, like an event like having an Idris for X amount will happen, will take a long time.
Yeah.
So let's say I could log in, play around with some RPers, whatever my role play is. If I'm let's say I am the engineering guy. So, right, so I'm not the janitor. I'm an engineering guy. I go in, I change the power levels of some things. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. And then I've got to leave, and then I can go. I can log out and then log back in later in the medbay, and then able to continue the RP that way. That'd be cool. But when it comes to like the narrative of what we would be doing, I think that depends on what, and like what really helps me is finding out what it is that a ship does, and then role playing that it's doing that.
Okay.
Because sometimes the mechanics of the ships aren't in yet. And like, oh, this ship does this. Does it? No, it's supposed to do that. Okay, well, don't tell me it's supposed to do that if it doesn't. You could role play it that it does that because it's supposed to. Like having, I was going to say trying to have the like I like to role play as the caterpillar using the prongs of the caterpillar to board things, because that was a thing that happened in canon within the lore of Star Citizen. Is the front prongs were lodged into, I forget what it is. We're gonna have to watch Astropub's lore video about it. But the shout out and the so yeah, like I like to board things through the front of the caterpillar because it has that, and it has those boarding prongs. So that's a cool thing to incorporate what the ship is supposed to do into what you are doing.
Right.
So it's like taking a. There was a clip of mine somewhere where we took a prospector under the belly of a reclaimer, and then used the laser to take apart and reclaim and salvage the Javelin on Daymar. It was super cool because the reclaimer is supposed to do that.
Right.
So we had it land like a spider on the Javelin, and then we hit a prospector underneath it with the laser firing. This was like in 3.8. It was a while ago.
Right.
So like using the ships that are supposed to be intended for their use in the RP. So like making sure a reclaimer comes down to reclaim this giant thing and not just being like, oh well, I'll just leave it here. I don't know. So it's kind of like that stuff.
Okay, so essentially, like, it doesn't necessarily matter what you are in the game, as long as I suppose you can imagine and that kind of thing. That's all you need. So like, if you're a cargo hauler, you're role playing cargo hauling essentially. I mean, of course, you can make a backstory and then you make it work. But okay.
Make it work.
Yeah. It's all about making it work. So like something that I believe is coming soonish, is like player habs and I guess what they called it, like a colonialization outpost and that kind of thing, like having like your own like towns and cities and stuff like that. How do you see that working with RP? Do you think that like RPers will generally make their own towns and that kind of thing, or would it be more of like what you like, where it's like
Yes.
finding people and kind of like just including them as opposed to looking specifically for RPers? Like, do you see yes? Do you see Star Citizen like I suppose? I guess the question would be like without Star Citizen in mind now, like in general RP in a game that doesn't have an RP server, so to speak, do RPers like come together to make their own thing generally, or do they do it your way, where you try and include other people instead?
Yes, they do it that way.
Right.
Not many role players roleplay like I do, where I like to jump into the deep end of, like, let's say, a PvP server and try to convince people to roleplay with me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people and a lot of role players enjoy the comfort of having other role players around them, which is great and fine. And I think when colonization will be a thing, and when that does show up, we will see a huge surge of role players who are excited to build. I don't know what it is, but a lot of role players love building, and they love building their towns and calling that their role play,
Right.
and not necessarily just staying with the character. You just need a character to role play.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to have an entire town. You don't need to have a crazy ship. But everyone for some reason really likes to have these huge cultures, these huge communities. A lot of roleplay streamers will probably create their own towns and things like that, so they can have their community come and join and actually create their Star Citizen community in their Star Citizen community. But not many people roleplay like I do, and not many people, like I said, like to jump into the deep end and convince PvPers to RP with them.
Right.
And I don't understand why, because doing
It's
that,
great.
like in in Star Citizen, you have the option of being the nomad on a ship, self-sustaining ship, just going from place to place.
Yeah, exactly. And then,
That's what I want to do. Like on a Carrack, it's the perfect ship. You have everything on it. Just just need a couple of more people to fill it up, and then off you go. But do you think, like, since a lot of our peers, you said that they want to create these communities and they will make these towns or maybe space stations sometimes do you think that there will actually be dedicated systems for our peers? Do you think it will get segregated like that, since they don't have access to a dedicated RP server?
I don't think there will be, and I don't think there needs to be. Like, I honestly think deep down in my bones that Star Citizen is a role-playing game that no one's role-playing in.
Right.
I think, like, it has everything you need to role-play in it, just no one is. It's super immersive. The cameras are amazing. It's super cinematic. Why would you play in a cinematic game if you're not immersed in it? So I mean, like, it's really easy to do. I know people who get very excited about flying their character, or having the backstory of their character, and then calling themselves not role players. Well, my character will have this, and this. My character has these three. I have these three ships because of the UEE, or because of the advocacy was chasing me, and blah blah blah. Now I've got their ship. That's RP. You're doing it. So it's like, it's that kind of stuff where it's very easy for people in this world, or in this universe, to fall into the immersive trap that roleplay is, especially in Star Citizen.
It's an interesting thought, and because, like, I hadn't necessarily thought about it too deeply myself, because I only really kind of dabbled in role playing with you and, like, with Darge in tabletop RPG, and then with Star Citizen, like, just recently.
I don't think we actually shared a stage in tabletop.
You and Myth, no, but I was just talking about two separate situations with me.
Right,
yeah. But, like, before any of that, like when I think of RP in like Star Citizen, I guess I would have thought of it in that kind of same mindset that I would watch on Twitch, where it's like, you know, streamers making communities and that kind of thing, instead of being like, I guess, the nomad actor that you are in Star Citizen, which works so well, you know, like but now that I think about it, yeah, I mean, I guess because I'm not interviewing myself, I'd ask you, Star Citizen, if somebody asked you, hey Myth, is Star Citizen RP ready? I guess your answer would be a resounding yes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I guess, yeah, it's a very interesting one, because I guess I was trying to lead this conversation into like, you know, what would you like Star Citizen to have to be RP ready? So it's kind of interesting that like you're like, well, I mean, personally, I don't think it needs anything, but like, I guess the average role player or somebody who's used to like, let's say GTRP, for people who don't know what GTRP is, what do you think they would need in order to like kind of coax them into it? People who I suppose are like more stuck into the more RP meta, as it were.
I think when it comes to what there, it really it's hard because like I don't know what, when it comes to GTA RP, what does GTA RP need, or what does Star Citizen need? I don't know if any of the games need anything.
Right.
I feel like maybe the those who are role playing in them could use a little more discipline. And when I say that, I mean like logging in and playing every day, any game you're going to get burned out of. Logging in every day, role playing in the same world each and every day, you're going to get burnt out of. And when I say burnt out of, you're going to creatively get burnt out of it. You're going to run out of ideas. You're going to run out of juice. And you may still want to keep playing, but people, and including myself, I mean, we all as humans would like to have more content in the world that we enjoy, especially for video games we're talking about. But like, so when you're running into this drought of creativity, or it's not quite the watering hole is starting to dry up, you start to look for more nourishment, or more where more of the creative juices can come from. So usually patches and updates and things that devs add to servers and things like that is usually what sustains or helps out with either a role player or any player when people get really excited about Star Citizen, and then 2 or 3 months later they're like, I'll just wait till the next patch. Because that happens a lot, because that's what's kind of going on. And the same thing happens with any sort of role player. You play a game for too long, you run out of ideas for your character. And when I say discipline, I mean not necessarily logging in every day. Spending some time going in, like there are days I will log in for 2 hours and have a 2-hour stream, and where I will go in for 6 hours and have a great time, but I'm super tired. But like having those nuggets and the creative juices, even if it's just you want to log in, a bunch of friends of mine at X, Y, and Z o'clock, and then we will at time zone o'clock, and then have some fun for 2 or 3 hours, and you'll have so much fun in those 2 or 3 hours because you will have the mindset and the energy for it, and not just logging in to do it. There are times I'll log in to do it, but I also find I find myself getting drained quickly. So that's just, I don't know what they're. It's hard for me to. I may not be the best person when it comes to like, what should games have? What do we? And it's just I'm all about just going out there, creating, inspiring others to role play with you, play with others, and react and say yes and collaborate with friends.
I suppose it
pretty much.
Yeah, I suppose it's difficult to have an idea, or like have a list of things that you think a game should need, when it's just so easy for you in the first place to just go into it. And you don't need systems and that kind of thing that generally are common in like RP games. Like let's say GTRP has like, I don't know, jail or that kind of thing. Like it's not necessary for you, and so it's not a necessity for role playing. So
yeah, it's just having someone who says, if you have people to play along with you, then that's what you need.
Right.
But like I think I wanted to mention this earlier too. there's a lot of different battle royale games out there.
Right.
And what separates all of them is the one or two mechanics that they've involved that have changed and why people play that game.
Right.
Like Fortnite is the BR that you build. Call of Duty Warfare is the one where you have the gulag, where you have to fight out the gulag.
Yeah.
Warzone. And then there's what Spellbreak is the BR where
With magic,
it's with magic. So it's the BR with this.
Yeah.
So when people are like, what does this game need for role play? And then people start rattling mechanics from another video game. Oh, I wish it would have building. Or, it would be really cool if taming was in this game. Well, why don't you just play Ark? Or it's like those kinds of things where it's like, go play Ark, go tame, and go, like, that's what that game is. So it's hard for me. I appreciate the games for what they are. And with if there are new mechanics that show up, cool.
Yeah.
But when I don't jump into a game because I want the game to be something else. I jump into a game because I want to tell a story in that world, or I shouldn't say I want to tell a story in that world. I want to play and react as a character within that world, and then use whatever it has. Or if it doesn't, I'll just make it up.
Okay, that really expands what roleplay is for me, and kind of gives me a better idea of what it is. Like, like, again, I had this very concrete idea of what role playing is or what it could be, but I think you've kind of refined it into like a much more pure idea, where it's literally anything can be role play, and it doesn't need to have specific systems in it to work.
I was gonna ask, do you think it's easier to role play in a game that has a lot more established systems with a world that happens around you regardless of what you do with it? Or do you think it's easier to do when it's just you versus other RPers creating a world in a much more blank canvas?
Yeah, like
a living world versus
Star Citizen, you have the prisons, and then you're going to have the pyro system where it's going to be a lot more lawless versus Stanton, and different landing zones where it's going to be it'll be easier to be you'll be able to do different things in terms of legality or morality of the place. So it has systems in place to sort of guide your character. Is that something that is easier for you, or is it more, or do you prefer like a blank canvas that you can impose your style of play or persona onto?
I have ADHD, so decision paralysis is a thing that happens a lot for me. Hold on, and so. Decision paralysis is a thing that happens a lot for me, where it's like, hey, you can do whatever you want. Like recently, I'm making a D&D character for a game, and they say, the party's super balanced. You can be whatever you want. What? I could be whatever I want? Oh, no. And, that's the hardest thing for me, is because now, what do you mean? That sounds great, but I don't know what I want. Now I can be whatever I want. There's so many options. But having that little bit of guidance helps a lot. So what I like to do when it comes to creating a character in Star Citizen, yes, to answer your question, yes, I think a living world with systems that have guidelines like a crime stat or even a crime history or things like that could help guide your character, because conflict breeds story. So if your character is conflicted because they want to go mining but they have to serve time in jail, then you can use that conflict or that speed bump to tell your story. Now your character what are they framed for? You've got this mining job that you have to do by X, Y, and Z by time zone o'clock, but you can't do it because you've got 6 hours in Aberdeen that you got to serve. Do you call someone to come get you out of there because you really got to get this stuff done? So it's like there, even with the prison system and your character being an outlaw, or if you're an outlaw and you're just pirating people because you want to, here's a really good example. Nerd Show and Tell shoots people all the time and does PvP and loves it. I have spoken to Nerd Show and Tell and said, "Hey, nerd, you don't mind if I call you a bounty hunter, like a fallen bounty hunter who is just been pirating people?" And he's like, "No, that's awesome." And I said, "Okay, great." So now in my canon, Nerd Show and Tell is the handle of a very deadly bounty hunter pirate. So I always am just going to, if he shows up, we're going to fucking fly away because that's terrifying. Excuse me for my language. But so it's
How
like,
fucking dare you?
Okay, great. All right, perfect. Now I don't feel so bad. Having the, there, we could use those and edit them later.
Oh,
you have
these
the samples. Yeah, those are the ones.
Mm.
And so like using things like that, you're able to just use a little bit of imagination and throw it into your story. Now we have a potential really scary bounty hunter on our tail. Things like that, where and now they're infamous pirate hunter and things like that. So having those things in place are great for, they're also great training wheels for someone who is trying to make a character. I think I want to go criminal. Like I have a person in our organization. She has been to jail so many times, and she's the one we call when we need to get out of jail, because she's the one who will get into jail and will pay her to lead us out of jail. So like it's folding those events into your character's story, which is super cool. I had another thing I wanted to say, but I always want to talk about roleplay, so probably not a big deal.
That's really cool. So like you currently have, I think when I've watched you stream Star Citizen, you have the one character, Bear Black, the cargo hauler, and you have this whole world that you kind of built around him and his experiences. Do you have like any other characters like in the bag? Like, do you have any projects that you want to do like after, like, let's say the tale of Bear Black is over? And like, how do you see, with the way Star Citizen is at the moment, like, how would you ever decide when his tale is over? Because like there is no perma, I suppose. Right. In that sense yet, from a gameplay perspective.
Wait, do bears have tails?
Exactly.
Yes.
A little pom-pom, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yes.
So permas, for those who are like, what the hell perma? Are we talking about hairstyle here? Perma is when it's also like permanently killing your character or permanently ending the character's story. Permanent death. Unlike dying and respawning, you can just be like, I'm permaing the character, and your character is finally dead forever. And which I don't think would be a thing in Star Citizen, because of so much goes into your character and building your character. Though resting them, a lot of people, if like, let's say I was shot down and crashed into Magda, and the caterpillar was blown up. The imminent butterfly is what it's called. It's canon. So the imminent butterfly blows up. And let's say I'll rest Bear Black for, I don't know, 2 months. I'll not play him for 2 months or something like that, because it just gives time for the world to live without him.
Yeah.
But it's not really much of a living world right now because there's not many people who are there. It actually, I'm sorry. I shouldn't. Star Citizen is the worst thing to say. It's not a living world. Everything you do in Star Citizen, and this is something that was told to me by CIG itself. Everything you do in Star Citizen is canon. Everything you do in Star Citizen is canon. So if you're role-playing, or if you're not role-playing, you are, because you're affecting the history, the progress, and the world as it's going. So everything you do, including all of your drug runs from Jumptown, are creating and making history within the Stanton universe.
Heck, we even voted, didn't we? You know, like
we all voted.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
And did you vote in character?
I did, and I voted for the one who won.
Okay,
Good.
All right.
I think I did as well.
So we got a statement in chat that I saw that I wanted to snipe before Darge picked it up. And
I'm good at that.
yeah, I mean, like, Death of a Spaceman is a mechanic in Star Citizen, and essentially with it, because like, I suppose because of his like his director background, Chris Roberts, you know, he thinks about this in like the same kind of style as like, you know, it's movie-esque or whatever, and like every single like decision that you make, be it in character or not, actually does play a part within this like living story of Star Citizen. So there's a mechanic in Star Citizen called Death of a Spaceman, where after several deaths, you know, like in a row, whatever, like your character will not respawn, and instead you're in the shoes of your character's next of kin, and like you know, everything that went into your character is gone. Like the character creation is gone. Everything is gone, and you are somebody else in their skin. And the game has said Bear Black has died. As a role player, I guess it's more of a personal question because at the end of the day, you could just say that didn't happen, right?
Yeah, is that a thing that happens?
Yes.
Not yet.
Not yet, but it's called Death of a Spaceman,
okay.
and it will happen. So, after your first death, you'll just respawn.
Oh god, the face. He's loving this.
After your first death, you'll just kind of like respawn. And for those who haven't heard of it yet, this is essentially how Death of a Spaceman has been explained in 2020. So, or was it earlier this year, Darj? I forget.
It was earlier this year.
It was earlier this year. So essentially, when your character gets incapacitated out in the verse, then you have two options. Like any other MMO out there, you can wait to be helped by somebody else. So so a beacon can show up and then they can come rescue you.
So someone could Discord their friends and
Exactly. Just like in WoW, any other MMO. If that doesn't happen and another player or an NPC doesn't come and rescue you, you have a second choice. Before that happened, you as a player could have gone to a hospital to register your stem cells or whatever and have a clone ready to spool up. So when that character dies, and you can spool up a clone and then go and collect your stuff from your character. But that clone has your memories or whatever, and that stuff is there. So you as a Bear Black as an entity still exists within the verse, and he can go back and get his stuff. However, I'm sure they're going to expand upon this, but like essentially, once that clone has been spooled up, the hospital doesn't have that data anymore. So now they have to get that data from the clone. So you get this degradation over time, kind of like how cancer works, and is essentially like you can get like your character like maybe might start with blue eyes, but may get like one brown eye, one blue eye, might get like Sith veins on their face, and essentially you degrade to such an extent that your character then is not just a person. You cannot.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
That's cool.
Yeah, so now Death of a Spaceman happens and they're gone. So like that's the mechanic that's in the game that they're going to be bringing in, that after that the game has decided Bear Black no longer exists. As a role player, who
gets my ships?
Your next of kin. You get to decide who your next of kin is before Death of a Spaceman takes hold. And that can either be an NPC crewman that you have designated as the person who takes your stuff, or in the character creator at some point you can create, like I don't know, like Cub
Man Black.
Yeah, Man
Cousin
Black or
Larry.
Cub Black or something, or Cousin Larry. And then so essentially like, that last time you die, you are now in the boots of either the crewman NPC that you've had for a long time and you've designated as your next of kin, or Larry Black or whatever, and you're at your funeral, like, getting shot off into space, like Star Trek style, and then you're in their shoes. As a role player, how do you see that mechanic? I mean, do you appreciate it? Would you use it? Or would you just go, nah, I'm playing my character. I have my story I want to tell.
Two answers. My answer for me, for Mythematic, is that's sick. That's so cool. Once again, this is that game where Death of a Spaceman exists. So play into it. This world, that happens. I also enjoy. I think character death is a very big deal when it comes to creating a story collaboratively with others. Game of Thrones wouldn't have been good if everybody lived.
True.
Period. If everybody lived all the time, it would have been a really bad story. And I'm not just saying like, oh, go out and kill characters, but characters dying and conflict creates story. Killing a character is ending a chapter, so you want to be careful when you kill another person's character. There is the option potentially or whatever, but it should be an honor for when you do kill your character in roleplay. In Star Citizen, it's going to be hard because of all the things that you do in Star Citizen. With Death of a Spaceman is super cool because it gives you plenty of chances to try to try again.
Yeah.
It gives your character a chance to try again, and it lets your character. It also lets you fail over time because the impending doom that your character won't be a character at some point is so cool. That is a story in itself. Like, that's exciting. Someone somewhere, maybe me, no one take this. I'm saying it here first. I want to do a story where the character is like, it's like that midlife crisis, right? It's just the character's story realizing that they have X, Y, and Z that they have to do before their DNA degrades. Oh, that's sweet. All right, anyway. I think it's really cool. I think it's inspiring, and I think it could be something that can be utilized. People can then go and role play taking and stealing DNA from different medical centers. Oh, we got to go kill Streak, who's going to be at the RCorp in time zone o'clock. All right, yeah, let's go. Oh wait, you taking him out? Well, all right, we'll get a team out and make sure that his DNA has been snatched so he can't respawn. Things like that could be fucking cool.
Right.
So, organizing heists like that as well. It's just utilizing, the mechanics or something that's in canon or in mechanics as canon. Whether or not you could steal the DNA, but you could still RP that. That could be kind of cool. It's inspiring, I think. My other answer to that is I don't know how other role players will enjoy it. I think that they may just deny it. They may go, no, this is the character again. This character happens to have blue eyes this time. Don't worry about it. It's just the mechanic of the game. But this character has blue eyes, and I know he had red, but now he's got blue. And they'll mostly ignore it. And I don't want to say that they're not me, but a lot of my friends who I've spoken to, and a lot of the peers in this space, really identify with the security of their character. Like I said, I think killing characters off and permaing characters are a great way to tie up a story. Every story has to end sometime, and sometimes your stories and people die in the real world that weren't a great death. Not everyone's a hero, but everyone in Star Citizen is a hero right now. So it's going to be hard when everybody has their starship, everyone is their captain. Or everyone is the captain of their ship. Everyone can do everything on their ship without any crew. And then at some point, their characters aren't immortal. That's gonna be hard for the community, and it's gonna be hard for an RP community to get into it. I'm excited though. That's super cool. I like it when these things happen. Like I said, I have ADHD, so I am still talking about this. But I get bored quickly, and I get bored easily. I also like to challenge myself in a creative fashion. If things happen, like if my characters die off, I will make a new one. It's now I'm forced to create a new character or to come up with a new story, and it's a new way and a new role to experience the world. Now I will experience the world as a bounty hunter and not a cargo hauler, and I will see which contacts I can create this way and that aren't. Like, how am I going to RP and roleplay with my friends now that I am not Bear Black? Like, that's exciting for me.
It could also be that your new character has this vendetta he needs to enact against the person who caused the Bear Black's death, untimely death. Yeah. It seems to me like, say, CIG is providing all these mechanics to somehow just not enforce, but to just give little pushes for every player into RP, because the characters matter. The ships are going to have their own stories with the names, because that's the first thing that you see. It's the ship. It's not the person piloting the ship. Like Meyer mentioned the Idris. That's going to be a character on its own as well, with its story. Crew can change, captains can change. The ship remains, and the ship gets notoriety and stuff like that. So
exactly, it's like RP in Star Citizen is super easy. I'm not saying once people, but like once you get individual you out there who is like, I want to role play. How do I do it? Once you get over the fact that it's a super immersive game. I mean, you're kind of role playing already. You want to be you're logging in to be a captain of a ship. You're logging in to fly a ship. So it's like and in this immersive world. And yeah, when it comes to characters and stuff, I think I wanted to mention this earlier and I couldn't figure out a way. If you want to get into Star Citizen, you can't think of characters, or you can't think of where you'd want to start, or if you want to make a character but you don't know what or how or what character, what you're not inspired to, look at your ships, look at your favorite ship and create a character around who's piloting that ship. I got a caterpillar, and my caterpillar is my cargo hauler, and I've got my cargo hauler who is Bear Black, who is that ship. So
I love your caterpillar's name, by the way.
The eminent butterfly.
It's fantastic.
Thank you. I did not name it. That was my good friend Solace named that. It was a guy I was role playing with for a while. He named it when he gave the ship over because Bear Black works for a company called Arcanus, and I actually have an episode on YouTube on him acquiring the Imminent Butterfly. But yeah, they named it, and he's like, I don't get it, and it was a joke for a bit. But so it's that I don't know what else I was gonna say, but yeah, think of your ships and a mechanic that maybe you like. If you like mining, make a miner. If you like running drugs, make a drug runner. Like, think of your favorite or think of your favorite mechanic, whether it is just shooting people, then become a bounty hunter or a pirate or a hitman or whatever. That is just do whatever it is, the mechanic that you are playing the game for, or that, like, your main mechanic. When you think Star Citizen, you're like, oh yeah, that's what I like doing. Make a character around that. That's that. Or if you want to create more characters, add a different character to another one of your ships. You don't have to have one character that has all the ships, though your account has all the ships. You can just go into your character creator, which is great. You can go into the character creator whenever you want and make a new character. That's super cool.
So, do you have any RP projects coming up? I mean, like, on the horizon, that kind of thing. I know we together we did this thing called Fashion Citizen, and I'd love to bring that back again at some point. That's kind of basically.
I was robbed. I'll just say that I was robbed.
That's basically been my only real delve into RP. I still need to edit it and that kind of thing as well. But do you have anything else like that people can be looking forward to in the future to do, either in SC or elsewhere, otherwise?
I'm doing a lot of RP projects throughout. I'll be on Actium. We're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that season 2, season whatever. What season?
Season 3.
Season 3.
Yeah.
Season 2 for me.
Yeah. Season 2 for
season
you.
3. So that's gonna be coming up soon over on Astropub's channel. I do Rime of the Frost Maiden on Table Story. It's a tabletop D&D game over on Table Story every Friday. But when it comes to like video game RP stuff, tonight, I think, depending, I may be busy, but tonight I'm going to try to squeeze in a Star Citizen stream. Thursday, I'll be doing a Star Citizen stream. So Tuesday evenings is my Star Citizen roleplay, and then Thursday day. And I'm American, and I'm both on East Coast and West Coast right now. So just, I don't know, in what day or East, whatever. Day in the general time of America is probably when I'll be on. I am role-playing in Red Dead over on Wild RP. I play a different character over there named Mr. Charles, who is a catch-me-if-you-can type criminal who's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. So I do a Wild Western RP on Wednesdays. On Mondays, I do Mortal Online, where I'm playing a dwarven blacksmith who's learning the ways of Mortal Online. And then Tuesday and Thursday, I'm doing Star Citizen. So we're doing cinematic RP throughout the week. And then on Friday, I'm doing D&D, and weekends I have off right now, but I do have things in the future. I'm writing a lot of D&D content, and I'm also creating a lot of just a lot of stories and things offline. I'm always thinking about roleplay. I'm always thinking about how to tell stories and how to create content for all of you. So that's what I do.
How do you keep track of all that?
You
have notes, spreadsheets.
No, I just have to try. I usually forget. I have great mods who help me remind me of things. But yeah, that's what I have. And yes, lots of spreadsheets. That also helps.
Awesome. Yep. Well, Myth, once again, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and talking about RP with us to people here, because again, it's one of those things that, you can do in any game, and Star Citizen is no different. And it's one of those things that, without being told, hey, this is RP, or knowing what RP is, that people wouldn't know that they could do it, or if they ever even wanted to try. So thanks for, opening, I think, a lot of people's eyes today about what that kind of, thing is. So yeah.
Just go out there and play make-believe. That's it. That's all it is. Just go out there and play make-believe.
100%.
I know it probably seems super intimidating for someone who's like, I have no acting background. I don't know am I supposed to? You just go out and have fun. Go out there, have fun, play make-believe, and enjoy. I mean, you're doing it anyway. You're flying a spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Is it a time yet?
I think it is. I've been looking. It's weird, right? I'm looking at Darge, but I know that by looking at him on my screen, he can't look at me to then go, is it that time yet for quick fire round questions? So,
oh no,
Mythematic. space whale, or sandworm?
Space whale.
What's your favorite Star Citizenship?
The caterpillar.
Favorite non-Star Citizenship?
The Serenity.
Oh. Oh, this is gonna be easy, but I'll just ask it anyway. Adama or Reynolds?
Reynolds.
And where can we find you on the internet?
Twitch.tv/Mythematic. Like mathematic, but with a Y for an A. And yeah, you'll find me there. Actually, twitter.com/Mythematic is a really good place. You can see what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Follow me and help me out with the algorithm. Let people know that I exist.
Is there a YouTube's as well?
There is a YouTube's, but follow it. Sometimes I'll post things, but nothing's regular yet. We'll see.
All right. Awesome. So that's a wrap for another episode of the Fortnightly Frontier. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Mythematic. Thank you, Dionator. And we'll see you next time for topic yet to be decided upon next time. Guys?
Bye!
Bye.
Hi, do we clap?
Bye, clap.